I discover my wife of 7 years is cheating on me. She doesn't know that I know. I don't know where to begin, but I guess there's no easy way to say this. This is the worst thing that has ever happened to me. I'm 30 years old. I work from home as a software developer. My wife, Emily, is 28. She's very beautiful. She's a hair and makeup artist. She's incredibly talented at what she does. She mostly works with brides and bridal parties, but over the last couple of years, her career has really taken off. A lot of that success is thanks to John, who owns a really popular local wedding venue. John has been a huge connection for her. Through him, she's gotten work with photographers, local advertising agencies, and even a few small modeling gigs. She's even modeled in some local ads herself. John's in his 40s, married with 3 kids, and his wife is very pretty for a mom of 3. I guess I get it, though. My wife is younger and way better looking. Our marriage has been great as far as I know. Emily and I have been together since high school. We're still best friends. We have regular date nights, an active and exciting sex life, and she's always been thoughtful and caring. I never doubted her love for me. That's why this blindsided me. A week ago, I was working from home, and I heard an email notification from my wife's laptop, which was plugged in for charging. She had logged into it before going to the gym, and she doesn't like her computer locking automatically when she leaves it alone. She forgot to lock it before leaving it. I saw the email preview notification from John, and it looked fishy, so I opened it. It wasn't romantic. It wasn't even sexual. It was logistical, a time, a place, and some comment about keeping things discreet. But it was the last line that floored me. "You're incredible. I can't stop thinking about last night." I thought about last night. She came home late, said she'd had a long shoot with a photographer, and we had dinner together like everything was fine. Normal. I scrolled back through her messages and emails. Most of it was mundane, work-related, professional, but sprinkled throughout were little hints, things that didn't sit right. John saying she looked beyond stunning at an event. Emily thanking him for keeping it neutral. Nothing about love, nothing about feelings, but it was clear something was happening. Then I read an email about booking a hotel for them both in town. It said it was the usual place. I felt like I'd been punched in the chest. I started panicking about it and went online looking for information about cheating. I read about the red flags and thought about the one she showed. Emily's work schedule had gotten a bit more unpredictable over the last few months. She started dressing up more, new outfits, sexy underwear, even on days when she said she was just running errands. She was grooming more down there, but I thought she was doing it for me. There were nights when she came home later than usual, blaming long shoots or last-minute bridal emergencies. She never seemed distant. She never pulled away from me. If anything, she was more attentive, initiating sex more often, planning surprise date nights, and constantly telling me how much she loved me. That's the part that stings the most. I didn't feel like I was losing her. I felt like we were closer than ever. I started paying closer attention. Later, I was snooping around the house on the pretext of cleaning, and I found a small jewelry box tucked into one of her makeup drawers. Inside was a necklace. Simple, but expensive looking. I hadn't bought it for her. When I asked about it casually later, she said it was a gift from a client. I didn't question it at the time. It seemed plausible. She works with high-end brides all the time, and clients giving her gifts isn't unheard of. But now I couldn't get the image of that necklace out of my mind. I also started noticing other things, the new clothes and underwear, the grooming, little shifts in her behavior that seemed harmless on the surface, but now felt suspicious. I've been copying the messages to my computer and torturing myself by going over and over them. It goes back about a year, which is when her hair and makeup business started booming. Here's the thing. I don't think Emily loves John. I've read through the messages, and while he's clearly infatuated with her, she keeps him at arm's length emotionally. There's no "I miss you" or "I love you." Just logistics, compliments, and occasional thanks. One time she even wrote, "Haha, go tell that to your wife." But it doesn't matter. She's sleeping with him. She's lying to me. And I don't know how to process that. I haven't confronted her yet. I don't even know how to start that conversation. I keep telling myself I need more proof, but maybe I'm just delaying the inevitable. All I know is that the woman I thought I knew, the woman I married, seems to be fucking another guy. If I confront her, she's going to deny it either way. Right? I know I should probably just sit down and talk with her, but then that would clue her in, right? I Googled it, and we live in a false state. We don't have kids. So if I divorce and I have proof of her cheating, she won't get any spousal support. Also, couldn't she just make up terrible shit that I did to her in order to control the narrative with our families? I mean, I don't think she'd do that, but I didn't think she'd cheat on me either. It's late, and I'm drunk. I'll check out what Reddit has to say about it. But I just want to go pass out and hear any recommendations from people who have been through this. I mean, it doesn't seem like she loves him, but does that even matter at this point if she's cheating on me? Update. Since my first post, I did a lot of reading on Reddit and other forums about how to spot and catch cheaters. Her phone is password protected, and I don't know the password. She's also pretty good about locking her computer, and it was just a fluke that I was able to catch it before. So I knew I needed to get evidence. The following is not my idea. This is all advice I got by obsessively reading Reddit stories and comments, as well as other forums. I ordered some cameras off of the internet that look like smoke detectors. I convinced Emily that our home insurance would go down if I put smoke detectors in every room. I ordered a book off of the same site called How to Be a Great Husband. Discover the secrets to a happy marriage without changing your wife, and I left it around for her to see. She did, and I could tell it made her uncomfortable. I got a GPS tracker and a voice-activated recorder VR, along with some strong Velcro for putting it under her driver's seat. Unfortunately, you have to subscribe to a service to use the tracker, but I figure I won't be subscribed to it very long. Now, this has all been happening from when I first became suspicious until now. Just a couple of days ago, January 20th, is when I finally got everything set up. When I got the VR, I tested it by hiding it in the table's centerpiece, and I sat Emily down and asked her questions. Honey, I'm doing a personal inventory to try to be a better husband and partner. To that end, I wanted to ask you some serious questions, and I want some serious answers. Do you feel I have ever abused you in our marriage? Do you feel I've ever cheated on you in our marriage? Is there anything you feel I could do to improve myself as a husband? Again, I ripped this off of a comment I read on a cheating story on Reddit. I didn't come up with this. For the first question, she said, no, of course not. For the second, she seemed reluctant, but answered no. For the third one, she said she wished we made love more. We've fallen off quite a lot since I got suspicious for obvious reasons, but I tried to initiate a couple of times just to keep her complacent. My heart's not in it when we do it, and I think she can tell. I asked these questions so that she couldn't make up stuff about me abusing her or cheating on her later on. I don't think she would make up lies about me, but I didn't think she'd cheat on me either, so I don't know the woman anymore. The VAR got it all. I transferred the recording to the cloud. I put electrical tape over the display of the VAR, so there wouldn't be a glow under her seat at night, and I plugged some cheap wired earbuds in the jack on the VAR, and then snipped it off at the plug so that the VAR wouldn't make any noise. Again, I got all of this info off of reading subreddits and forums. I didn't come up with this. Rolling back the clock to Christmas. On Christmas, we spent Eve and Day with her family. It was their turn. Her sister was there with her husband and kid, as well as her parents. We were at her parents' house. It was just an hour away. My parents live a couple of states over. But now I couldn't get the image of that necklace out of my mind. I also started noticing other things. The new clothes and underwear, the grooming, little shifts in her behavior that seemed harmless on the surface, but now felt suspicious. I've been copying the messages to my computer and torturing myself by going over and over them. It goes back about a year, which is when her hair and makeup business started booming. Here's the thing. I don't think Emily loves John. I've read through the messages, and while he's clearly infatuated with her, she keeps him at arm's length emotionally. There's no I miss you or I love you. Just logistics, compliments, and occasional thanks. One time she even wrote, haha, go tell that to your wife. But it doesn't matter. She's sleeping with him. She's lying to me. And I don't know how to process that. I haven't confronted her yet. I don't even know how to start that conversation. I keep telling myself I need more proof, but maybe I'm just delaying the inevitable. All I know is that the woman I thought I knew, the woman I married, seems to be fucking another guy. If I confront her, she's going to deny it either way, right? I know I should probably just sit down and talk with her, but then that would clue her in, right? I Googled it, and we live in a false state. We don't have kids, so if I divorce and I have proof of her cheating, she won't get any spousal support. Also, couldn't she just make up terrible shit that I did to her in order to control the narrative with our families? I mean, I don't think she'd do that, but I didn't think she'd cheat on me either. It's late, and I'm drunk. I'll check out what Reddit has to say about it, but I just want to go pass out and hear any recommendations from people who have been through this. I mean, it doesn't seem like she loves him, but does that even matter at this point if she's cheating on me? Update. This is my first post. I did a lot of reading on Reddit and other forums about how to spot and catch cheaters. Her phone is password protected, and I don't know the password. She's also pretty good about locking her computer, and it was just a fluke that I was able to catch it before. So I knew I needed to get evidence. The following is not my idea. This is all advice I got by obsessively reading Reddit stories and comments, as well as other forums. I ordered some cameras off of the internet that look like smoke detectors. I convinced Emily that our home insurance would go down if I put smoke detectors in every room. I ordered a book off of the same site called How to Be a Great Husband. Discover the secrets to a happy marriage without changing your wife, and I left it around for her to see. She did, and I could tell it made her uncomfortable. I got a GPS tracker and a voice-activated recorder, VR, along with some strong Velcro for putting it under her driver's seat. Unfortunately, you have to subscribe to a service to use the tracker, but I figure I won't be subscribed to it very long. Now, this has all been happening from when I first became suspicious until now. Just a couple of days ago, January 20th, is when I finally got everything set up. When I got the VR, I tested it by hiding it in the table centerpiece, and I sat Emily down and asked her questions. Honey, I'm doing a personal inventory to try to be a better husband and partner. To that end, I wanted to ask you some serious questions, and I want some serious answers. Do you feel I have ever abused you in our marriage? Do you feel I've ever cheated on you in our marriage? Is there anything you feel I could do to improve myself as a husband? Again, I ripped this off of a comment I read on a cheating story on Reddit. I didn't come up with this. For the first question, she said no, of course not. For the second, she seemed reluctant but answered no. For the third one, she said she wished we made love more. We've fallen off quite a lot since I got suspicious for obvious reasons, but I tried to initiate a couple of times just to keep her complacent. My heart's not in it when we do it, and I think she can tell. I asked these questions so that she couldn't make up stuff about me abusing her or cheating on her later on. I don't think she would make up lies about me, but I didn't think she'd cheat on me either, so I don't know the woman anymore. The VAR got it all. I transferred the recording to the cloud. I put electrical tape over the display of the VAR so there wouldn't be a glow under her seat at night, and I plugged some cheap wired earbuds into the jack on the VAR, and then snipped it off at the plug so that the VAR wouldn't make any noise. Again, I got all of this info off of reading subreddits and forums. I didn't come up with this. Rolling back the clock to Christmas. On Christmas, we spent even day with her family. It was their turn. Her sister was there with her husband and kid, as well as her parents. We were at her parents' house. It was just an hour away. My parents live a couple of states over. Christmas Eve day, she got a gift bag delivered to her. I didn't see who dropped it off. My Miles said it was some teenager. The gift bag said to Emily from Santa. At first she thought it was from me, I think. I assured her it wasn't. It was a gold bracelet. Apparently, it was pretty nice. Her mom and sister oohed and awed over it. When asked where it came from, she said it probably came from a bridal party that was getting married on the 28th who wanted to reward her for giving a group discount and doing it last minute. She told us that they said she should expect a bonus. It's ridiculous, but I nodded my head. Emile and FIL sort of followed my lead like it was no big deal. Let me be clear that I knew it was from John. The bridal party would have signed their names, not wrote from Santa. Emily must think I'm special needs to fall for that. I just got angry in the moment that she had that little respect for me, so I excused myself to the restroom. Later on, I saw her in the backyard on her phone. She seemed angry and was gesturing wildly. I figured she was reading John the Riot Act for almost exposing their affair. New Year's. She had the wedding on the 28th, and was working with another bride for a wedding on the 4th. Whenever her phone would go off, I'd wonder if it was him. On New Year's Eve during the day, she got more buzzes and dings on her phone than normal. She would look at them annoyed. I asked her what the problem is, and she said the bride getting married on the 4th is a real bridezilla. At night, she said she had to step out to go meet with Bridezilla. She told me she'd be back in time to kiss me at the countdown. She came back at around 1:30 a.m. She was crying, sobbing actually, going straight to the bathroom and coming out 10 minutes later. I told her to calm down and asked her what the problem was. She said she was so sorry. I asked why she was sorry. She said because I missed the NY countdown. I told her she was entirely too upset for it to be just that, but she assured me it was. She even held my face between her hands and stared at me and told me she loved me. I asked her if she had anything else to tell me. She assured me that she didn't. I asked her point blank then if she cheated on me. She swore up and down that she didn't and that she was upset because she missed the countdown because since we've been married, we always kissed each other when the clock struck midnight. I gave her every opportunity to come clean, and she still lied to me. Since then, I got the cameras and the other stuff and installed it all. Now I'm going to wait to get more tangible evidence, as well as start consulting divorce attorneys. I expect it will be a while before I update again. I'll be hanging out on Reddit, though. This place is addicting. Edit. Trying to head off comments. Getting real, undeniable proof is important because my family loves Emily. They think of her like a daughter. In her family, she's the golden child who can do no wrong. If she told them I was abusive or a cheater, her family would believe her. My family would probably take my side, but they definitely interrogate me to make sure I didn't abuse her. Update 2. I checked the VAR recordings from Emily's car, and I got some info. There was the usual business and personal calls, and some Taylor Swift sing-alongs. The first call of note was with John. Apparently, she had not talked to him since NY. She was angry with him for sending the gift at Christmas and keeping her late at NY. John was dismissive and cocky at first. Emily then told him about how I asked her if she was cheating on me during NY. That got John's attention, and he was asking all kinds of questions. He seemed really interested. If I had mentioned him by name at all, I didn't. He said he thought she was handling me. He told her that they should be safe if she has always used the card. She said she did. He asked her if she wanted to meet, and she started crying. She told him that the relationship has stopped being fun for her, and that they should stop, and she wasn't going to lose her marriage over this. Too late, honey. He told her that she should just keep lying to me. He seemed really worried about his wife finding out. She will asshole. He told her not to call him again on his phone, and that they'll talk the next time they meet. He also told her to be sure and delete everything off her phone and computer. She said she already had. Her next call was to her BFF, Bev. Bev knows about the affair, and my wife was crying. Emily told Bev about NY, and that she thinks I suspect something, and Bev told her to keep lying to me, but also told her she should probably end her affair because I would definitely divorce her if I find out or if she confesses. Ding, ding, ding. Bev knows me so well. Emily said she is in the process of ending her affair with John. I always considered Bev a mutual friend. I've met her husband. We've been out on couples dates. He's going to get a message from me outlining his wife's liberal views on infidelity, as well as a link to the recording of her phone call. I'll check with my lawyer first. Interested in both men and women's views on this. How would you feel if you knew your spouse was actively encouraging their friend to hide their infidelity and talking about how it is with their cheating friend? Should I be pissed at her? I did some web searching and anonymous asking around on social media, and on the advice of stuff I got here on Reddit, met with what I think are the 3 best family law attorneys in my area. I had official consultations with them. I did this so that 2 of them wouldn't be able to take my wife's case because of conflict of interest. What they didn't tell me in those Reddit comments/posts is that the really good family law attorneys don't do free consultations. They charge you for them, and then some prorate that charge toward your bill if you select them to represent you. So I ended up spending $1,600 for all that. Just FYI, I'm not super rich. We have a lot of money saved up, but I don't want to tip her off by touching that. My wife's business is doing really well, but she has the what's mine is mine and what's yours is ours attitude when it comes to paychecks, and I didn't mind until now. I make 6 figures as a senior developer, and we don't have a mortgage or rent payment. My mom died. My dad moved down to Florida to the Villages. Lets us stay in his house rent-free. It's already paid for. I say this because my dad is taking out a HELOC on the home to help me pay for the divorce attorney. A really good divorce attorney is very expensive, I've learned. The plan is to refinance it in my name after the divorce is over. Meanwhile, I'll be making the payments by writing checks to my dad. The HELOC is still pending, so I'm paying with a credit card I took out for this occasion. I'm pretty much certain my credit score will be shot to hell after this. I talked to my divorce attorney and gave her the recordings, and she said it was good evidence. I told her about how Emily is ending it with John and about the card John mentioned. She told me to take a picture of the card if I can find it and send it to her. I asked her if it was legal to do that, and she said yes, because it's accessible within shared marital property. She's going to subpoena the card statements. As far as Emily ending it with John goes, my lawyer said, maybe, but don't count on it. My attorney also told me the same thing y'all told me, and that's I need to hire a PI. She told me she had a good one. I told her I already had all this evidence, and she said that evidence and testimony from a PI carry more weight with the court because a PI knows how to get admissible evidence legally and is impartial. She told me her goal is to get enough evidence so that any attorney my wife got would settle rather than go to trial, because she'd subpoena John, and John would be exposed too. She told me she wouldn't be surprised if John paid for my wife's attorney, which would be a dumb idea for her, because that attorney would mainly have John's best interests in mind. But since he's paying for everything else, she'd probably go for it. I'll be meeting with the PI on Monday. Meanwhile, Emily is love bombing me. She's telling me how great I am and how much she appreciates me and how lucky she is. She's talking about starting a family before she's 30. Not with me, you're not. She wants us to go on a long romantic trip that she's planning on paying for with her money, with John's card probably. I want to scream at her and tell her I'd rather slam my dick in a car door, but I have to keep playing nice for now. Fuck this shit, man. I can't believe this is my goddamn life now. I want to hug her and kiss her and make love with her again, but then I remember her mouth was around that asshole's junk. She completed her mouth, and she came home and kissed me with it. I had sloppy seconds for 9 months, but she loves me. I love her, and I hate her. I'm walking cognitive dissonance. My attorney told me to get into counseling. I will. I think I need to. I just want to run away from her and towards her at the same time. Does that sound stupid? Am I going crazy? Update 3. I got an STI test a couple weeks ago. It's negative, but my doctor gave me the HPV vaccine because it wouldn't be detected by the tests. He said if I've been exposed, it could take years to show up. So he told me to check my dick for warts for the next several years. So good news, I have a new hobby now. It turns out that in my state, you can't record someone one-sidedly unless you are involved in the conversation. So the conversations between Emily and Bev and Emily and John are illegal, and I broke the law. Since I have attorney-client privilege, and she's the only one I sent them to, I'm good. But I have to delete them. The emails I downloaded are still evidence, though. So we have good evidence there. I suppose the recordings serve their purpose in that I know for sure about the affair. On the advice of my attorney, I hired the PI she suggested. I gave him the info for the GPS tracker on Emily's car. He said that after hearing my story, including details I didn't share here, he decided he was going to follow John rather than my wife. It didn't make sense to me at the time, but he said that it sounded like John was more into my wife than she was with him. So John would probably be the one initiating contact rather than Emily. I figured, oh well, he's the pro, not me. He assured me that he's seen cases like mine before where the spouse was not serious, but just looking for some fun on the side, and because of the withholding of attention, it causes the AP to double down on the relationship and pursue more. He said women don't like needy men and men don't like needy mistresses. Makes sense. On the sage advice of all of you and my lawyer, I stopped having sex with Emily. I told her there were layoffs coming at work, and I was really anxious and not in the mood. I don't know why, but she seemed really frustrated by that. It's been difficult living with her and pretending. John and I get the same treatment. Well, I guess he got slightly better treatment for a while, but I'm the lucky one because I get to hear the sound "I love you" bounce off of my eardrums from that hole in the middle of her face, and John doesn't. Hashtag blessed. It used to mean so much to me to hear that. I'm so goddamn angry that she's made me hate her like this. I want to love her again so badly. My therapist says the technical term is ambivalence. Thinking about it makes me want to vomit. Valentine's Day. The PI said John left flowers and a gift at my wife's salon. The PI said when Emily came to work and saw it, she threw everything in the shared dumpster in the strip mall without even looking at it. She was pissed. My PI retrieved the gifts. It was really expensive lingerie and a dozen red roses. The gift had a Valentine's Day card. The flowers had a message note too, and there was definite proof in that note and card of the affair. They were practically love letters. Emily left the other girls at the salon and went to meet up with John. Yeah, I got it all. They met in a far corner of a hotel parking lot. The whole thing took around 45 minutes. It was an intense conversation. The PI said Emily seemed angry and shook her head no a lot. He said he thought John was trying to coax her into a room. Lots of touching. Nothing overtly sexual happened, but the PI said he's seen cases won with less, and that their body language, behavior, and the way it panned out is the kind of thing judges look for in adultery cases. It was obvious that they had a relationship. It was at that time that I got a weird "I love you" phone call from Emily. I remember her voice was off. It was like she was trying to check in on me. My attorney advised me to photos of Emily's appointment book for the last year or so. Emily likes using a physical calendar book to write everything down. I noticed there are appointments with John in the book too. Before, I would have just thought of them as business meetings because Emily said John was mentoring her in small business stuff. I found a Mont Blanc pen in her purse near the appointment book. I guessed that another gift from John because I sure as hell didn't buy it for her, and she always just used BIC pens before. Emily was busy with work the rest of the day and night on Valentine's Day, and she had a bunch of ladies who wanted to get specially made up for Valentine's Day dates with their spouses/boyfriends. Anyway, she worked as usual on Valentine's Day. She came home tired, half-heartedly tried to initiate something, but I just pampered her because she seemed exhausted, and so I put her to bed. I didn't pamper her for her sake. I did it for me. I wanted to be a good husband, so she'd somehow miss me more when I'm gone. I wanted to prove to myself that I'm not worth cheating on. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm love bombing her in return in my own way. Is this the pick me dance? Because I don't want her to pick me. I can't decide if I'm doing it so that it hurts her more when I'm gone, or because I know I'll miss moments like these when I leave her for the last time. The good news in this zombie shit show that my marriage has become is that the parking lot meeting and the Valentine's Day gifts were enough that, when added to the other evidence, we can finally have Emily served. We're going to have it done privately with the PI. He's also a process server and can get it done quickly. It was probably a mistake accusing her of cheating on NY. Emily knows that something's wrong. She's staring at me a lot. I can see it in my peripheral vision. It would be creepy if it weren't so pitiful. She keeps asking for some kind of reassurance that we're doing good, since we're not making love anymore. I keep lying to her, but I guess I'm not the great Shakespearean actor I thought I was. I just can't get over this betrayal. I wish I could, but I can't, and I never ever will. It doesn't matter that she didn't love the guy. She had his junk in her and had her mouth on it and came home and kissed me with that mouth for 9 months. I just hate myself for going back to her. I'd further hate myself for treating her badly because of jealousy and resentment. No one deserves being treated like a convicted felon for the rest of their lives by their spouse. Would any reasonable person want to live like that? Would that be enough for anyone? Should I be resigned to a life of policing Emily and keeping her under lock and key until she resents and hates me later on and probably cheats on me again? Either that, or I'll be an emotionally dead zombie who says, "Yes, dear," while stamping down my emotions and anxiety every time she walks out the front door. Who would love someone like that? I'm not going to live like that. I love who I thought she was too much to let her live like that. That's why I'm going to ghost Emily when she gets served. The plan is to have her publicly served, to start the process of having John's credit card statement subpoenaed. Lawyer says it could take months for this to pan out. Tell Bev's husband about her complicity in Emily's affair, and to email/text Emily's dad and sister, John's wife, and some mutual friends with the news. I'll pack and leave before she regains her footing after being served with divorce papers. I plan on leaving a short note, my lawyer's business card, and my wedding ring. My lawyer told me to leave a note so she doesn't have an excuse to start making trouble. I was thinking about writing, "Do you like rich sugar daddies? Yes, _X _, ____. My therapist says I use humor as a coping mechanism. I know I won't do that, though. I'll either write this long manifesto or something super short. Another infidelity poster on here wrote to her cheating so. I know. Brevity is the soul of wit. I know myself. I know that Emily at least thinks she loves me, whatever that is. I know she'll beg and plead and cry and appeal to me in every possible way. Our history, our families, our plans, everything. She'll dress up and make herself look stunning. She'll pull out all of the stops, and I'll cave. I'm not ghosting her because I'm strong. I'm ghosting her because I'm weak. I used to think it would hurt worse if she had actually fallen in love with him. But now, that would have been easier. If she didn't want me, at least I'd have my answer. Instead, she wants me, but she's already broken us beyond repair. That's worse. I'll update after it all goes down. Should only be a few days. Brief update. Emily is going to be served at her salon tomorrow morning. Fridays and Saturdays are busier for her, so she opens earlier. The PI is meeting me at my hotel in the afternoon to show me the body cam footage. He asked if I wanted to see it, and I said yes. I don't know why. I just want to see it. I'm kind of on the fence, but leaning towards seeing it. He can't email it or post it, so he's just going to bring his laptop to my hotel room and show it to me. I'm staying at an extended stay hotel for a couple of weeks. My dad's friend has a house they're getting to make an Airbnb out of, and it'll be livable by then, but not yet ready to be rented out. I'll stay there and do some work on it in the evenings after work and on the weekends. Nothing huge. Some drywall, painting, and laying down vinyl plank flooring. My social calendar is going to be pretty empty, and it'll get my mind off of things. I'll update tomorrow evening after this shit show explodes. Update 5. I left Emily. We got the divorce papers, summons, petition, standing orders, etc. The PI, acting in his capacity as a process server, wore a body cam for obvious professional reasons, and I was able to look at the footage when he came by my hotel room later on in the afternoon. The PI walked up to Emily, who was sitting at her station and chatting with the other stylists who work for her. He showed her a manila envelope and told her he had legal documents for her and she had been served. Emily, of course, looked shocked and confused and just stared at him, gobsmacked. The PI clarified that the envelope contained legal documents regarding a divorce case filed against her, and he told her she should review them and contact her attorney. Then he dropped the documents at her feet with a satisfying slap as they hit the ground since she refused to take them, and told her she's still been served. He then told her to have a nice day and walked out. Morgan Freeman narrated her voice. Emily didn't have a nice day. I could hear her hyperventilating as the PI left and saying, What is this? Really, Emily? You're actually surprised? I was at home, And after the PI called and said he was heading in to serve her, I called Emily's dad. Since my mom died, I had probably unwisely been treating her mom, my MIL, like a mother. I just couldn't talk to her. I told Emily's dad about the divorce. I tried to keep it very simple and quick. Emily cheated on me. We're getting a divorce. I'll send you an email shortly with evidence of the affair. I stressed that Emily was being served divorce papers today, so she would absolutely need their support and they should head over to our house immediately. Emily's dad acknowledged that and said that he hoped we could find a way through this and it would be a shame to break up our family. I guess Emily's mom was nearby and overheard because she took the phone from him, put it on speaker, and asked if this is true. I explained to her about the cheating and the email with the evidence they'll receive. She started crying and apologizing to me. Since this thing started, she was the first person close to me who apologized to me. I was reminded of my mother, who always would comfort me when I was down. And I just broke, y'all. I started tearing up and croaked out, "I have to go," and hung up on her while she was saying, "No, wait." I had packed up my work laptops and got a lot of my clothes in 2 large suitcases. On the advice of my attorney, I took down the cameras in the bathrooms and bedrooms when I left, but the cameras in the common areas can remain because my dad is the owner of the house. I packed the cameras up in my suitcases too. My lawyer sent the subpoena to the credit card company on Monday when I pulled the trigger on my marriage. I wrote an email to Emily's dad and sister and to some mutual friends who know both of us, including Bev's husband. It said, "I never thought I'd be writing this, but after everything that's happened, I don't see another choice. I wanted you to hear it from me directly so that there's no confusion or misinformation. Emily has been having an affair with a man named John, last name. I have evidence, emails, financial records, and an investigation that confirms it. I think we all know that her bracelet gift from Santa was not from a client because the client would have identified themselves by name and clients don't know her parents' address. She's been meeting John and hiding it from me for months. I know this is painful to hear, and trust me, it's even more painful to write. But I didn't want you to be blindsided by all of this later. I'm attaching a few things to this email that make it clear what's been going on and to head off any of your concerns about the truth of my statements. I know this is shocking, and I don't expect you to take sides. I just want you to have the truth. I love Emily, but she's broken our marriage beyond repair, and I have no choice but to move forward with a divorce. Ephiel's name, Emil's name, Estelle's name, Estelle's hubby. Thank you for being like a second family to me. I will miss all of you. I wrote a similar email to John's wife and gave her my attorney's name and number if she wanted to go see the physical evidence herself. It would have to be in my lawyer's office. Personally, I think my lawyer is going to try to get John's wife to give her a retainer. I also sent a group text for them to check their emails, except for John's wife, IDK her number. Then I blocked Emily's family. To the email, I attached a photo of John and Emily kissing goodbye in the hotel parking lot and a photo of the contents of John's Valentine's Day card to Emily. It was explicit. Finally, I had a link to the recording of Emily saying that I didn't abuse or cheat on her. I just wanted to head that bullshit off ahead of time. I texted this to Bev's husband. "Hey, Bev's husband, I need to tell you something, and I hate being the one to do this, but you deserve to know Emily didn't cheat on me alone. She had support. She had help covering it up. And unfortunately, that help came from Bev. I don't know if you were aware, but Bev knew about the affair the entire time. She didn't just know about it. She encouraged it. She helped Emily justify it. She helped her keep it from me. And she even made excuses for her when she started feeling guilty about it. I have proof, and I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't. I'm not asking you to believe me blindly, but I think you should ask Bev some direct questions. Watch how she answers. Watch her reaction. I'm sorry, man. I wouldn't wish this on anyone, but I couldn't sit back and let you stay in the dark. Believe me or don't believe me. Either way, my conscience is clear. I then left my wedding ring, a printed copy of the same photo of Emily and John at the hotel parking lot kissing, my lawyer's business card, and a note. Thanks for your help on this, guys. The note said, "I hope your affair with John was worth our marriage. You're getting a divorce. Contact my lawyer if you have any questions or need to get in touch for arrangements regarding the divorce. Otherwise, get a lawyer and let's get this over with. If you're truly remorseful, then do me the courtesy of giving me the easiest, most generous divorce possible. I loved you, and I could have forgiven almost anything except abject betrayal. I would have loved you for the rest of my life." On my way out, I got a call from Emily that I ignored. I put my phone on silent and dropped by the bank. I took out half our money from the various accounts we have. Checking, emergency, vacation fund. I have already frozen my credit. When I got to the hotel, I canceled our shared credit cards. I made arrangements to freeze our joint investment accounts so that she couldn't withdraw money from them. They're my name. Adultery subreddit pro tip. People, if you cheat, make financial arrangements ahead of time in case you get caught. I then got a text from her. I left her on read because my lawyer told me that if she confesses to the affair over text, we can use that as more evidence for the divorce. I'm responding to her texts here only because it's therapeutic to me. Messing with the language/writing of her texts because I'm paranoid. This is the condensed version of the past 12 hours or so. WTF is this? I'm divorcing you. Answer your phone. We need to talk right now. Nope. I have had enough gaslighting for a lifetime. Thank you very much. This was followed up by a lot of texts demanding I call her or answer her calls. No thanks. Then the texts changed. So I presume she got home and read the note and saw what I left. I don't know what you think you know, but I can EXP everything. It's not what you think. You're right, Emily. I'm a stupid idiot who'll believe anything you say. Divorce? We love each other. We're supposed to work through this mistake. Mistake? Oops. My wet hoo-ha fell on a John's erect wee-wee. Repeatedly. For almost a year. Oopsie. Look, I know I fucked up. Don't do this. Don't leave like this. Finally, an acknowledgement of the affair over text. Zing. Right to my lawyer. I never stopped loving you. I never loved him. Another gift from Emily. Zing. Right to my lawyer. Then, the tone changed later. You are overreacting. You are acting like I never loved you. Like I wasn't trying to fix things, but you wouldn't let me. Fix things? Okay. Build a time machine. Emily. Build a goddamn time machine. Are you just going to ghost your own wife? Consults Magic 8 Ball. All signs point to yes. Then, her parents showed up at the house. Oh boy, what the fuck did you do? And then, you had no right to involve my fam like this. Then followed by, are you trying to humiliate me? Are you trying to ruin my life? You hate me that much now? Kinda? It's complicated. After that comes a barrage of phone calls that I didn't answer. How could you do this? How could you try to turn my own fam against me? I'm not. I'm trying to have them not turn against me. And then, I told you I never loved him. I never loved him. No one cares. Honey, least of all John. I know you love me. I love you too. We can fix this. We can fix everything. And then, just tell me what to do. Tell me how to fix this. I'll do it. Let me get this straight. You wiped your ass with our marriage vows and stabbed me in the back. And now you want me to tell you how to fix this shit? I had to go to Walmart because I forgot to pack underwear and I don't have a rich sugar daddy to buy me some fancy skivvies from Saks Fifth Avenue. You never love me if you can do this to me. Fuck this shit. I'm gonna have to block her instead of leaving her on red. I don't think I can take this, man. So this is how a marriage ends. No fanfare. No heroic deeds, just whining, crying, anger, and depression. Just like any other divorce, really. Only this is MY divorce, and it feels like the end of the fucking world. But in reality, this is all just beginning. I feel this whole process is going to take years. I hope not. My lawyer assures me that with the evidence we have, it'll go relatively quick. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, what? Relatively quick? Relative to what? Continental drift? At this point, I just want to thank you beautiful men and women who supported and encouraged me. I'd vacuum out all your cars if I could and clean your bathrooms. I just want a falling anvil to hit me in the head and cause amnesia like a cartoon character or a Hallmark Channel movie. I know this is tonally all over the place. I keep second guessing myself if I did the right thing. I just changed my life today in a fundamental way. I'm wondering if it's a lateral move. I feel like I've moved from a warm cesspool to a cold, gray, rocky place. Is it an improvement? I feel like I have these scars now, and the one who gave them to me is the one person in the world I trusted the most. I will never forgive her. Now I have to buck up and walk it off like a real man because feelings and tears are weak and a turn off. I just want my mom. Update 5. A lot of you were wondering about Bev's husband. Bev's husband texted me back, shit, and then thanks, man. I don't know how exactly to interpret that, but I'm too tired to be invested in Bev's husband's marriage. I told him about his wife being a POS. What he does with that is on him. Good luck, buddy. This is all F-A-A-K. Fine, just block me and ignore me. Go play Reddit Batman someplace else. Emily's mom texted me using Emily's phone. She wants me to unblock her. I ignored it. Several hours later, she asked me again and promised not to bring up Emily if I would unblock her. I unblocked Emil's number. I texted her and told her I was still alive, had no plans to change that status, and that I will unblock her later on so we could talk. I told her in no uncertain terms that I only want to chat about me or her, but not Emily. I told her I need a break from all of this, and I'll unblock her later and to be patient. I'll contact her again. Emily, try to perfunctory, I'm sorry you're hurt, text which wasn't very comforting. Hints from her texts and the fact that her mom is using her phone to text me indicate to me that she's at her parents' house now. It was a long silence of several hours. And finally, Emily texted me to check my email. Went to my spam folder, and there it is. As before, I obfuscated the text in writing because I don't want her to do a text search on the internet and find my posts. So yeah, the email she wrote didn't have these misspellings. She is autocorrect and spell check like everyone else. Sorry for the annoying spelling. You grammar Nazis are now the victims of my paranoia. Also, I am making comments in the email too like before, because I'm no contact, and this is therapy for me. Here we go. My name. I keep thinking about how this can't be real. It can't just be over. How you can just shut me out like I was nothing to you. It's killing me. Yeah, that's the idea, Emily. It sucks when you get abandoned by the one you love. I don't even know how to start this because my mind is racing and anything makes sense. I know I don't deserve a response, but please just RD this. Please don't delete it. I just need you to hear me. I talked with my dad and Estella's husband. I told them how I messed up. They said I was stupid, and they're right. I told them about how I never loved John, and I always loved you, and they laughed and told me that DS didn't matter at all. I felt so stupid. I know you are done with me. I know I don't get to ask anything from you, but don't I at least deserve to explain? To look you in the eyes and tell you how sorry I am? To tell you I never stopped loving you? You think you know everything, but you don't. Yes, I fucked up. I betrayed you in a way that I can't take back. But it wasn't because I didn't love you. I need you to know that it was never what you think it was. It wasn't about love. It wasn't even about sex. I was pressured and felt obligated. Oh yeah, let me just shave my privates, wear some $700 underwear, and traipse on down to the expensive boutique hotel for a nice raping. Help, police. John didn't just walk into my life and sweep me off my feet. He inserted himself. He did so much for me and for my business. You know how much I was struggling, how close I was to losing everything. He was the one who helped me. He connected me with the right people. He helped me with my lease, with contracts, with vendors. He got me meetings I could have never got on my own. And I let myself believe that he was just being a mentor, that he just wanted to help me. I told myself it was just one time. If I just gave in one NCE, it would be enough. But he'd stop pressing, but it wasn't enough. And I didn't know how to get out of it. I kept telling him no, but he always had a way of making me feel like I was being ungrateful. Like after everything he did for me, I was selfish for not giving him what he wanted. I hate myself for not shutting it down from the start, for being so fucking stupid, for letting it go on. I tried to stop it, but every time I pulled away, he'd remind me of how much he helped me, how I wouldn't be where I am without him, how I'd ruin everything if I cut him off. So I kept making excuses. I told myself I had it under control. I thought I could handle it. What do we call someone who trades sex with someone they don't love for goods and services? Tip of my tongue. And then Christmas happened. New Year's Eve happened. And that's when I knew he wouldn't stop. That's when I knew I had to end it for good. I did end it, but by then it was all fucked up. Everything was fucked up. I knew I had to tell you. I wanted to tell you. I knew that the second I told you that you'd never look at me the same way again. That would be ruined, and I couldn't handle it. I know you at least suspected ever since you accused me at NY. I just put my head down and wanted it to all go away. So I kept putting it off and telling myself I'd find the right time. There was never a right time, and now I've lost you anyway. I can't stop thinking about Charleston. Do you remember? That stupid little bed and breakfast where you hated the coffee, and we spent half an hour at a gas station just so you could get a normal cup of coffee? And we sat outside that little seafood shack by the water, eating fried shrimp and laughing at the seagulls trying to steal our food, and you were acting like a knight with your funny British voice protecting my food and making me laugh. Yeah, I love that weekend. Remember when you didn't fuck other guys? That was a swell time too. I don't expect anything. I don't expect you to take me back. But I also can't believe that you would just walk away without even talking to me. After everything, don't we deserve that much? I'll sign whatever you want. I'll give you whatever you want. But please, don't just disappear. Don't pretend like I never mattered. Because I know I did. She'll sign. This smells like a trap. I love you so much. I always have. And I'm terrified that I'll never get the chance to tell you that in person again. I loved you too. But I need you to get out of my life for both our sakes. Please, Emily. I reread my comments, and I sound like a heartless bastard. I'm just tired, I guess. No mention of John's credit card. No mention of how the affair wasn't fun for her anymore. No mention of how she was supposed to be handling me. Is this what they call trickle truth? Because a lot of this sounds like the Emily I know, TBH. Maybe there's some truth to it, but she's downplaying her role in it all. It's like this was all happening to her, and she wasn't an active participant. I mean, I feel sorry that she lost control or whatever, but it's not like she didn't have a choice. She chose to sleep with the guy because she felt obligated and he did her favors. Doesn't that mean she's a prostitute? Sounds like I was prescient in naming her AP John. Here, I thought it was just 4 letters that are easy to type on a keyboard, and it turns out to be a role. Should I petition the mods to change my username to Oblivious Pimp 6969? I don't want to know what you all think about it. But I'm telling you right now, it doesn't make a difference ultimately. She's trying to change the narrative to the point where we're both victims instead of just me, and I think that's just shitty. The really fucked up thing is that part of me wants to believe her, that she was just a victim of John. But the problem is, that doesn't change the fact that she slept with him for almost a year. If I forgive that, then what am I? Just sign the papers, Emily, and let's move on from this. Can't you do that for me, please? You're young, you're beautiful, you don't have any kids, you are a successful business owner, and you have a whole wardrobe of fancy designer clothes courtesy of your sugar daddy. You're killing it at life. Go live it somewhere the fuck away away from me. Update 6. So my friends took me out on a night on the town. I had informed them ahead of time that I would not be drinking. They informed me ahead of time they would be drinking. Well, the dudes who took me out on the town were fake names. Jim, my friend from high school who knew Emily and I both. He's married. Jim was pretty floored that Emily did this. Matt was a groom I met early on when Emily was working her job. Early on in Emily's career, before John, a bride had her hair and makeup artist bail last minute, and my wife jumped in because she was the first person they called who said yes on short notice. I packed along her hair and makeup stuff. Emily, since has had everything packed up in an efficient way, but this was at the beginning before she had everything down to a science. I sat with Matt and chatted him up and calmed him down before his wedding while his bride and mine did their thing. We had a lot in common, and the time flew by fast. Emily and I kept up with him and his wife and went on couples dates with him occasionally, but mainly Matt and I would hang with Jim. Bob is our single friend. Well, I guess I am too now. He's always the odd man out with the couples, but the married guys would hang with him, so we could live vicariously through his singleness. You could just set up a board game in your living room and leave it. We'd mainly get together and play D&D. They were nerds. Bob is the DM. We went out to dinner at a pretty nice steakhouse, which was a nice change from protein shakes, but it was still kind of hard to eat. Eat your steak, you pussy. Followed by laughter was the catchphrase. I got all down like a big boy. After dinner, I recounted to them most of the saga that's in my post minus some details. I don't want exactly what I know to get back to Emily, even though these guys are trustworthy. They were very supportive. They couldn't believe Emily did that to me, and they couldn't believe I did that to Emily. They were pretty upset with Emily. Matt told me that he heard Emily is really struggling. I stopped him right there and told him I didn't want to talk about or hear about Emily beyond what we had already talked about. The steak dinner was delicious, but expensive. Afterwards, we went to this country dive bar Bob heard about. It's the kind of place where the floors are one large glue trap for human beings. The floors were sticky enough that I had to retie my shoes with double knots. That's how you know you're in a good dive bar, right? They were drinking beer and bourbon shots while I was staying sober. I don't need the alcohol fairy advising me to call Emily and cry and weep and then eat a bullet. Nope. I talked to my dad a couple of days beforehand, and he told me to stay away from alcohol. I was way ahead of him on that one. And that real men drink bitters and soda when they're not drinking booze at a bar and not diet soda or mocktails. Those are for pussies. I asked the bartender for a bitters and soda, confident that I'd be looked at like a manly man, and she teased me and said, "Okay, grandpa," and pour me some club soda and shook some droplets from what looked like a brown Tabasco bottle. Thanks, Dad. I like the taste, though. I soon became stuck in that sober guy limbo where everything is funny, but you know in 1 hour you're going to be babysitting adult toddlers. The guys got more and more shit-faced and more enraged about what Emily did to me. They wanted to call her up and yell at her. I told them I took care of it and talked about that video I linked a bunch of times here about how absolute silence and no contact is the right way to treat a cheater. They seemed to agree. Jim was calling the female bartender bro. Matt was downing a draft beer while stuffing steak nachos down his throat. After a steak dinner, he and his wife are pesky vegetarians. So I have aided and abetted dietary infidelity, just like Bev did with real, actual penis adultery. I have no shame now. Matt paid for that sudden intake of red meat later. We had some lively conversations about politics and their relationships, but not mine. Just to head off the questions, I don't know if there were any pretty girls there. I wasn't really looking. I felt like a burn victim, like everyone was staring at me and doing that thing where you inhale sharply between clenched teeth. After the bar kicked us out at the end of the night, I herded them into Jim's minivan and kept Bob from purchasing a homeless man's dog. Jim didn't need that smell in his minivan, and Jim's wife would harpoon me. Matt was moaning and holding his stomach. I stole a trash bag from the little closet in the bar's restroom just in case he needed to throw up. I drove them all home, let them get their own cars the next day. I walked Bob to his bed, thought the better of it, and decided to just cut out the middleman and deposited him in front of his toilet, head hanging over the side. I gave Matt over to his pregnant wife and told her that it will be Matt who's vomiting for a change. She tried to talk with me about Emily, but I politely shut it down quickly. I don't know why her friends are so invested in us getting back together. I can only assume they don't know the whole story. I don't want to reveal details to anyone until I absolutely have to. I drove Jim's minivan home to his house. I shoveled Jim into his master bath where he proceeded to sacrifice his expensive steak dinner to the porcelain gods. It's okay, I didn't pay for it. Jim's wife gave me a big hug and asked me how I'm holding up. I said as good as can be expected. She said that I should concentrate on whatever new beginning I choose next. I guess I just wanted STBX bingo because I think that's the top 3 things I've been hearing and saying lately. I paid for a ride back to the bar where I made sure all their cars were locked before I drove mine to the hotel where I'm staying currently. Sunday night, we played D&D and Codenames at Bob's place. None of us drank. I had a good time then, too. I'm going back to work on Monday. By that, I mean I'll be bringing my laptops either to the public library or a coffee shop to do my work. I don't have any in-person meetings scheduled for my office next week. I think I'm just going to lay low and establish a new normal. Next week, or maybe the week after, I'll be moving over to my dad's friend's Airbnb remodel and helping out there in my spare time. That will be my home for the foreseeable future. Right now, we're waiting on the credit card records, and to my knowledge, Emily hasn't gotten a lawyer yet. Come on, default judgment. My lawyer told me John's wife contacted her. She didn't get any more specific than that. Nothing from Bev or her husband. They're Emily's friends, not mine. I did her hubby a favor. What happens next is up to him. To answer the multiple questions here, the only overnights Emily had during the time period of her affair were when she visited her parents. 3 times. I verified it with them each time. Not because I was paranoid, but I just like talking to my Amiel, and it was an excuse to chat with her. The 3rd time Emily went, she came down with the flu, and Amiel took care of her for a couple of days. I called every day. I'm pretty convinced that she didn't do overnights with John. The closest she came was during NY. I suppose Amiel could have aided and abetted her infidelity, but she's very religious, and I don't believe she'd do that. I'm gonna lie, it would hurt a lot if she did. As far as news of Emily, I have no idea since I'm no contact. Matt said his wife said that Emily is struggling, and that's it. I hope she gets help if it gets too bad. I checked the cameras, and Emily seems to have moved out of the house. I believe she's with her parents currently, which is a hell of a commute for her. So she's probably taking time off work too. I'll update if anything significant happens, believe me. Otherwise, I probably won't be as active on here as I was last week.